So in this video, we're gonna be going over 5 things that I wish I knew nutrition-wise prior to starting my fitness journey. Because when I started, and I know for many of you guys as well watching, there's just so much information out there. It's hard to know what's legit, what's not, what's science, what's marketing, and what will yield you the best results, especially with the nutrition side of things, because there's so much supplements involved and superfoods and all this stuff when it comes to selling products that a lot of times is more so marketing than it is science. So it's hard to know, again, what's legit and what's not. So that's what we're gonna be covering in this video. 5 things that I could go back and tell my younger self before I embarked on my fitness journey. So the very first thing that I wish I can go back and tell my 16-year-old self is that all calories are equal and all nutrients are not. Okay, so what does that mean? Basically, simply put, what that means is a calorie equals a calorie. Okay, 100 calories from chicken equals the same amount of energy as 100 calories from a vodka soda. Okay, if you're in a calorie surplus, you will gain weight regardless of the source. If you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight regardless of the source. Okay, so again, a calorie is a calorie no matter where the source is from. But the second half of that statement, all nutrients are not, means that obviously calories from whole nutritious foods like chicken or blueberries or spinach or coconuts have significantly more nutritional benefit because they're loaded with nutrients, right? They have micronutrients, specifically vitamins and minerals, that obviously yield a lot of health benefits. Okay, and on the other hand, you've heard of empty calories that have zero nutritional benefit, things like junk food or alcohol. These are empty calories because they have no micronutrients, they have no nutritional benefit to you, okay? But at the end of the day, you can gain weight or lose weight by eating solely empty calories or solely nutritious foods, okay? So just keep that in mind. Calories are king. Calories is what will dictate whether you gain weight or lose weight, but that doesn't mean to only consume empty calories. Obviously, it's very important to have most of your diet, I would suggest, as whole, nutritious, single ingredient foods because you want to make sure that you aren't deficient in obviously any micronutrients such as vitamins and minerals, because that can obviously lead to a whole host of health complications down the line. And the next thing I wish I can go back and tell myself is that no diet is superior to another, right? Whether you want to follow keto or Atkins or vegetarian or pescatarian or whatever it is, the end result is achievable with any of those diets. For me specifically, for some reason, because I read so many bodybuilding articles and forums, that I thought you had to eat chicken, broccoli, rice 5 times a day, every day, to look like a bodybuilder, to gain as much muscle as possible, right? This simply is not true. Again, the king is macros and calories. As long as you're in a calorie surplus, if your goal is to build muscle and you're hitting enough protein, that's all that matters. You will make progress, you will build muscle, and you will get bigger, and vice versa with being a calorie deficit and losing fat. As long as you're in your calories, as long as you're in your macros, you will make progress regardless of the diet you follow. Okay, so when it comes to diet, just pick one, whichever of these diets fits your lifestyle the best, whichever diet you like, whichever diet ultimately you can adhere to long term is the best diet to follow. Just know that one isn't superior to another. It's not gonna give you superior results, but there are many different ways to get to that end result. So again, no diet is superior to another. The thing that will determine and dictate your progress is whether you're in a calorie deficit or calorie surplus and you're hitting your macro targets. And the next thing I wish I can go back and tell my younger self, something that I'm definitely a victim and that I did for many, many years when I started my fitness journey back in my teenage years, is to avoid mass gainers, okay? Avoid mass shakes at all costs because one, obviously they're very artificially made. Tons of artificial ingredients in there. You probably can't even read half the ingredients that are in these shakes. And 2, you just feel horrendous on these, okay? You feel bloated all the time. You're kind of forcing yourself to drink these thick, gooey shakes that gets boring after the 3rd, 4th, 5th day of drinking it consecutively. And I used to drink these because I thought you had to drink these to be in like thousands plus calorie surplus in order to build as much muscle as possible. So obviously a lot of wrong in that what I just said there, but basically again, do not try your best to avoid mass gainers. They are not needed, and there's much better to get those calories in from real food. So if you are someone like me that struggled or struggles to get your calories in, make sure I did a video on this on my kind of top bulking tips on foods that you can eat to make getting the calories in a lot easier. So make sure to check that out. But again, try your best to avoid mass gainers at all costs. They're extremely synthetic. They make you feel awful while you're drinking them, especially for an extended period of time. And again, it's just much more beneficial to get it from real foods because obviously, one, it's a lot better for you and you're getting a lot more micronutrients via minerals and vitamins. So again, avoid mass gainers while you can and stick to mostly real foods. And the fourth thing that I wish I can go back and tell my younger self is to not extreme diet. Avoid extreme diets at all costs, right? One, not only is it super unsustainable long term, but two, you'll actually get a worse body composition if you try to rush the process. Okay, so for me personally, there's been several times, especially when I'm in my teenage years, where I was done my bulk and I wanted to get shredded as fast as possible. Right, I wanted to get abs like that, be ready for the summer in like a month, and I would cut my calories by almost in half. And as a result, again, it's not sustainable long term. After I finished that diet, I pretty much rebounded right back to where I started, plus even more. But my body composition, even when I was leaner, looked a lot worse than if I had taken my time and used 12, 16, 20 weeks to diet versus try to do everything in a month. Because obviously, if you cut your calories that drastically, or opposite, if you add that much calories to your diet right away, then especially if you cut your calories, then your performance in the gym really suffers, and then obviously you're not able to accumulate as much volume, as intensity, and obviously your body composition, even though you're the same weight, maybe is probably going to be a lot worse than if you were to take 3, 4, 5 months to get to that same result. So don't rush the process. Results take time, and again, do not extreme diet. Never cut your calories in half or make these crazy changes to your diet that aren't sustainable long term. Because what good is it to get results in a month at a suboptimal body composition, but then rebound 6, 12 months right back to where you started, right? It's much better to take your time, slow and steady, and actually be able to maintain the results after you've completed your diet. And the fifth and final thing that I wish I can go back and tell my younger self is to eat more protein. Okay, this is definitely something I didn't do for probably the first couple of years of when I started lifting and trying to build muscle, is I simply was not eating enough protein. I think it might have been due because it was such a foreign concept to me. I thought I was already eating decent, but it turns out when I started tracking my stuff, tracking my calories, tracking my macros, I was way off in both departments. So, and I think this holds true for most people. Most people, especially like when I get new clients, are heavily under eating protein. Okay, you're really holding yourself back if you are not consuming enough protein. Obviously, protein and the calories are the driving factors when it comes to building muscle. Okay, when it comes to protein, try your best. And again, I've touched on this in several other videos. Try your best to aim for about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That is more than enough for most people. I would say 90+% of people. And again, then you're really optimizing your rates of muscle growth because you're giving your body enough resources and energy to build new tissue, to build new muscle. So again, try your best to aim for about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That will give you significantly better body composition than someone that is eating maybe half of that, okay? And if you're someone that really struggles with getting the protein in, try your best to consume, making sure every single meal has some sort of protein source, okay? That way you're kind of optimizing how much protein, muscle protein synthesis your body goes throughout the day. Obviously, the more you can do this, the more muscle you're gonna build, because your body will spend more time throughout the day using those amino acids from those protein sources to build new tissue, okay? So that is probably one of the most important things, is making sure you're getting enough protein, because that will make a massive difference, especially if you're someone whose main goal is to build new muscle. So that rounds off this video. 5 things I wish I knew back when I started, because all 5 of these things would have definitely expedited my process of building muscle and getting bigger substantially. But again, I had no one to help me. I didn't really have much information. When I did try to research, I had no idea what was legit and what wasn't. So I really it was kind of up to trial and error and kind of figuring it out on my own. So again, I hope you took something away from this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you here in the next one.